twist in love.excerpt. Suddenly Rachel heard a cold knock at the door. Her blood frothed in her veins. She slowly walked towards the door. Her legs were trembling. She opened the door. A pale man. It was a cold, dark, mysterious night. Moon was struggling to escape from the ruthless grip of the strange dark clouds. Dogs were howling somewhere. Wind kissed the banyan tree leaves. Rachel was repeatedly switching between the news and sports channel. Suddenly her eye caught something interesting. Breaking news. A psychotic killer from Newland Jail has escaped and on a rampage. It killed 2 women who were alone in their house. One of them was from the Revolt Street. Rachel was terrified. Revolt Street is where her house was, and was sacred out of her wits when she realized she was all alone in the house. Owls were hooting from nearby trees. A light bulb was flickering somewhere down the street. Suddenly Rachel heard a cold knock at the door. Her blood frothed in her veins. She slowly walked towards the door. Her legs were trembling. She opened the door. A pale man. He was around 40. His eyes were blood red. Rachel's heart skipped a beat when she noticed those eyes. The man asked whether this was Sarah's house. Rachel nodded. The man's face lit up. "Hello, madam. I am Webster, Sarah's pal," he said in a harsh and husky voice. "My car broke down. Can I stay in your house for a while? Come till the mechanic arrives." Rachel was already terrified seeing those eyes and objected bluntly, but the stubborn was repeatedly pestering her to let in. Finally he asked Sarah to speak with him. Rachel shook her head and said, "Sarah is very ill. She is sleeping upstairs. I can't wake her up. Please leave." But the man was so stubborn that Rachel thought up a plan. She told the man to wait for a while and ran upstairs. She took a deep breath. Then she adjusted her voice and mimicked like she was very ill. "Webster, I am not feeling well. I need rest. We will meet tomorrow," said loudly so that Webster could hear it. After some time she trotted downstairs. She opened the door cautiously. She found those cold blood-red eyes staring at her. "Webster, I am sorry," Rachel in a feeble voice, avoiding those eerie eyes, and closed the door at once. Rachel tried to calm herself. She tried to watch something interesting on TV. She was startled when she heard the knock again. Thinking it was Webster, she didn't respond. She kept quiet, but the knock at the door was becoming louder and persistent. Finally Rachel gathered some courage to find who was at the door. She opened the door, a cold icy hand gripped her. She was frozen to death in fear. It was an old man with a crooked smile in his face and a tattered bag over his shoulder. Webster was still standing impatiently with him. "Oh, my child. Get me a glass of water," whispered. She opened the door, a cold icy hand gripped her. She was frozen to death in fear. It was an old man with crooked smile in his face and a tattered bag over his shoulder. Webster was still standing impatiently with him. "Oh, my child. Get me a glass of water," whispered the old man. Rachel hesitated. The old man again murmured, "Come on, child. I need to quench my thirst." Rachel closed the door and scampered to kitchen to get water. Said Rachel. She slowly let her hand out of the door with a glass of water. The icy fingers took it. Suddenly the power went off. Only howling of dogs were heard. It was dead silence after that. A mysterious, evil, cunning, and psychotic laughter was heard. The old man and Webster found that Rachel was gone with door ajar when the power resumed. Webster called out for Rachel. She wasn't there. Both the men stepped inside the house calling for Rachel. The television was still flashing the breaking news. They went to kitchen in search of her. Suddenly power went off. A cold hand crept over the Webster's neck. He was petrified and started to yell. Old man was terrified and had no clue what's going on. Webster could feel the hand crushing his windpipe. He was breathing hard, fighting for his life. Fortunately, the power resumed. To their surprise, nobody was there. Not even a minute sound. They trotted in fear to upstairs, thinking that Sarah could help them. The staircase creaked at their feet. The upstairs was dark. They couldn't find the switch. Somehow they found Sarah's bedroom. Webster knocked the door. No response. Their hearts were thumping hard. They slowly opened the door. The room was dimly lit by the faint moonlight. Sarah. Sarah's single quote called Webster, hoping that she would answer. Suddenly something chill touched Webster's feet. He suddenly jumped back like a cat on fire. The old man took a torch from his bag. It was blood. Pure blood. Sarah was lying dead in the pool of blood oozing from her open throat. Suddenly a psychotic laughter was heard from back. It was gloomily figure in dark, with a blood-dripping knife in its hands. The eerie figure approached them. The old man shone the torch toward the figure's face. The faces of two men had the expression of cold death. The figure none other than Rachel. The. After a long silence, blood-curdling sound was heard. Thank you for watching.